away to the world across the seas, where pirates all have law degrees.
Welcome once again to another episode of the Canon Law. I'm Travis Anderson, an attorney in San Antonio, Texas. Now, as an attorney, life can get quite boring. Sometimes we find ourselves in the office for extended periods of time, and we're looking at large screens or books, reading through to try to prepare for cases, hearings, etc. That can actually get quite taxing on us. And so one of the things I look forward to break up the monotony is lunches with colleagues, which is always a great thing, but also getting down to the courthouse or out to hearings. Now, I do two areas of law that require me to both attend a district court setting, but also an administrative hearing setting, which is a public office building that's usually a rented space by the state. In both of those settings, I get to go out and I get to go somewhere and argue my case or have my case heard. But either way, it gets me out of the office. I get a short drive. I get to listen to books on tape that I like to listen to.
You nerd with your nerd hair.
But also, too, I get to enjoy just being out of the office. One of the great things about living in the historic city of San Antonio, which is a very old city, is I get to go down to our Bexar County Courthouse. Now, the Bexar County Courthouse has quite the history. Construction began in 1892 and was completed 5 years later in 1897. Now, the courthouse has been continuously used as a courthouse that entire period of time, and it's a beautiful red stone courthouse. So why don't you come on with me and we'll go through and we'll look at the Bexar County Courthouse. Now, one of the great sites that's just a few blocks from the courthouse is the Alamo. After you arrive downtown by the Alamo, this wall takes you down to the central courtyard just outside of the Alamo. Looking around, there are many statues and other markers that recognize the Alamo. Historical markers, including replicas of cannons that would have been the kind used during the defense of the Alamo. And of course, the Alamo itself, which many people believe is quite small. I think they're expecting a much larger building. But nonetheless, it's a beautiful experience to come down toward the Alamo and to go through and see the site. Just a few blocks away, we have the Cardenas Justice Center, where district attorneys have offices, and also many criminal hearings are held in the court space that's available in this building. And here we have our beautiful Bexar County Courthouse. This is the front of the building. So you'll want to make sure that you recognize this is the front of the building where there is absolutely no parking. So of course you'll find yourself to the back and you'll park in that parking structure off in the distance. After parking, you'll cross the road. New to the San Antonio landscape is the Paul Elizondo Tower, which has county courts which handle both criminal and civil matters, as well as the Court of Appeals. It's very tall, very spacious, filled with many amenities, and it's a beautiful building. As with many courts, when you enter, you'll have to pass through security, paying attention to notice that other services are offered, including notary services. You pass through the thoroughfare of the building, you'll see the exit in the back, which opens up into a courtyard with stairs leading down to our central jury room. So if you're called for jury duty, this is where you go. You'll find yourself near the cafeteria, which is a beautiful place to start the morning. It's got a great menu and really good food and snacks for the jurors and for those who are on break from court. Just across the hall is our central jury room. This is where you would report and be seated, waiting to be called and assigned to one of the courtrooms in the upper floors. This can sometimes be a long process, but isn't that bad. And see what we have up on the first floor. We find ourselves in the Bexar County Dispute Resolution Center, where I volunteer as a mediator to help civil complaints resolve through mediation. Let's head up to the upper floor and we'll see one of our county court offices. Remember, with these courts, they have rules. Make sure you follow the posted rules. Judges can be quite upset if you don't follow the posted rules. Now I'm going to take the stairs up to the fourth floor where we can see our Court of Appeals. The Fourth Court of Appeals is where you would appeal a case that's been tried at the county court level and you're unsatisfied with the decision, you'd file it in the very same building. Now, because the Paul Elizondo Tower is actually connected to the old Bexar County Courthouse, you can take the elevator downstairs, cut across the hallway around by the cafeteria, and walk down to the connected building without actually having to go out and pass through security. As you go down the hall, don't miss the fun artwork that's produced, usually for fundraising purposes, public purposes, which is why you want to use a courthouse. And these are some great little fun posters. Once again, now we're in the basement of our historic Bexar County Courthouse, where we find civil courthouses, which were in session, so we couldn't actually go in. Let's go back upstairs to the 4th floor and see our historic courthouse. Whenever I come to this courthouse, I find myself looking around, examining the tile, the walls, the benches, because they are beautiful, they are original, and they're quite antique. So again, with getting out of the office, it's always great to look around and to see something that's historic and has some connection to the community. Again, these floors are very much the same on every level, but don't miss the opportunity to examine them otherwise. This is one of our historic courtrooms. Again, very consistent and similar to what you'd see on TV, but not all of the courtrooms in the Bexar County Courthouse look the same. Some of them are very different. Finding ourselves back down on the 1st floor, we actually have a small little museum here in San Antonio because of the historic nature of the city and how old the city is, especially with the heritage of the Alamo. So take the opportunity to go through and explore some of the sites, some of the exhibits that are here in this little small museum, which actually help you to get a feel for the Alamo City, for our heritage with the Mexican American population here, as well as with the development and the Republic of Texas and later our joining the Union. It's a great series of exhibits, and I would encourage anybody to just take the time to come down here, even if you don't have a court hearing. Now let's exit the building, and again, we have to pass back through security. And upon exiting through the back of the Bexar County Courthouse, we can see that it's very much like the front, and many people actually confuse the back side of the building for the front. But again, it's a beautiful site, and it doesn't look too much different than the front. But I think it's a great experience. Now, as an attorney who has the opportunity to go into these courthouses and actually conduct business, I don't miss the opportunity to also look around. I love having a few minutes in between hearings or waiting for hearings or waiting for a jury to deliberate or what have you, and being able to tour these sites. It's really fun when you're in a city that has a lot of history to be able to walk out, just go a few blocks, take a tour of the Alamo. There's a lot of other sites. For example, in San Antonio, we have the beautiful San Antonio River Walk, which in this visit I wasn't able to get a chance to go down and actually look at. But I hope for those of you who are watching this channel and interested in the legal field, you don't just get bogged down with a bunch of boring court cases, but you take advantage of the rich history that exists in a city with respect to the development of its own judicial system, where it puts its courthouses, what the history of those courthouses are, and what other sites there are around the courthouses. Don't let it be just a focus on the law. I like that the law allows me to have opportunities to examine and explore my community, especially when there's historic reasons to do so. And again, I'm Travis Anderson, an attorney here in San Antonio, Texas. If you ever want to meet me down at the courthouse or have lunch with me down at the courthouse, please reach out to our office at 210-699-0004. And of course, if you have any legal issues or questions, please don't hesitate to contact our office if you're here in the Texas area. Thanks.
Away to the world across the seas, where pilots all have law degrees.